Yeah, I could be a bastard in school sometimes. A total, unadulterated textbook definition of the word asswipe. And I do feel bad, but it was not always intended. Though I did try to always behave, it never really fully worked out sometimes, and I apologise unreservedly to all of my past teachers. Hello everyone, the Flying Scotsman here, and welcome to this video. Now, in last week's video, we took a look at integrated office suites like Microsoft Works. Now, those programs have a very broad appeal and can be used for a large number of things, both at home, at the office, and even in schools. But on this week's episode of Academic August, we're going to be taking a look at something that has got a much narrower appeal. So, maths, as we call it in Scotland, and same as what they do down in England, although they call it maths, or maths, if you're from the north, or MathType if you're from Geordie land. Or in the West Country, I don't even know if they have a name for it in the West Country, because all they'll be doing is counting livestock, quite often sheep, and everyone knows that when you start counting those, you tend to start falling asleep. Anyway, I seem to have gone off a wee bit. I seem to have gone off topic a wee bit, and especially I'm a bit rich talking about sheep living in Aberdeen, but we'll completely gloss over that. So, maths. Yes, there is more than the one. So maths. When I was just a sprightly wee lad of, let's say, around age 9 to 10, the busy work that we did in maths, when I was under my maths teacher at Temple Bank, we had a couple of different types of maths lessons. We had brickwork, which was actually originally homework sheets. That the teacher would send us off to do, sheet of 50 questions. They'd want us to do so many of them, or if not, all of them. So we'd take the brickwork home, we'd take these sheets home, and, they'd just be generalised math questions, over a range of different topics, from the usual arithmetic, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, to things like volume, capacity, geometry, and I guess if we were really naughty, calculus, trigonometry. I don't think brickwork ever actually reached that far, but I'm not sure actually. Anyway, so when I was about 9, these homework sheets, we started doing them in class, and the maths teacher actually changed the name to brickwork, as I think his desire for the change of name was that you work with bricks. I think it was, I don't know, I was very young when he explained it to me, and so I probably got the wrong end of the stick, but from what I thought, he was basically just using a brick as a unit. Anyway, or it could have just been, well, with Age and Guile at my side, and a copy of Pink Floyd's The Wall, brickwork could have been, well, just to lay the, kind of the building blocks of maths, the brickwork. It's a wee bit above laying the foundations, but hey ho. Anyway, So, this is not a video about brickwork. If any Temple Bank former students are watching, this is not a video about that. But it is a good starting point for this video. Because I used to like to work on the computer at school. Well, of course I bloody did. And sometimes it was okay if I'd been, good. I could work on the computer. If, however, I'd been a clarty little bastard, so to speak, I'd have to do it handwritten. And that was also to try and improve my handwriting as well, and what have you. And these are what the brickwork sheets look like. What I've done is I've gone and recreated it because I'm that bloody autistic. Recreate something from 21 years ago. It was in a Word 6 document, which is why we're in Windows 3.1 just now. So when I would come to start a new sheet, I would open Word, go to File, New, start the template, Brick, and there it was. That was it. I mean, the questions, they would be in a workbook in large print or Braille, whatever format we used, because Temple Bank was a school for the visually impaired. And these were our answer sheets. Now, when you're in primary school or lower middle, I think just having the answers tends to suffice. And I can tell you, for one thing, the answers weren't centered. Whoops. So you'd have a question, something like, what's 1 plus 1? So you'd answer 2. Whoops. For some reason the numlock's working in reverse order. And then you'd start answering questions like that. Obviously you'd put your name. Because of course I used to put you'd put the date, so wait, that's not today's date. Oh well. What is today's date? See, when I was on Windows, no English school would have ever had any schoolwork with a date in August that you did in the classroom sheet, and then depending on what unit you were on, you'd have like a letter and a number. So you sunk my battleship. So let's say, for example, I was on sheet C10. I don't know why that number, but anyway, so I'd do that, and just having the answers themselves were perfectly fine. Obviously, if I wanted to do answer with a fraction, I would put the numerator stroke denominator, and that's how I do it. Just kind of stuff like that. For things like degrees, the maths teacher, he was damn good at computers. Actually, he made an arithmetic game. I wish I still had it, because I would be showing that to you now instead of what I'm away to show you. So for stuff like degrees, there was a macro that he had set. So if you typed DG and then pressed F3, it would make a degree sign. Just little bits like that. Obviously, though, as time went on, I couldn't actually use the computer for maths anymore, and this was because, well, firstly, as we got older, teachers started to expect us more to show our working, which is, perfectly sensible, because you have to know the process. Even if in your head you come by an answer, the correct answer, in a different way, you still have to show that you understand the working. And actually, kids, if any kids are watching, that I think would still apply today. don't ever underestimate the importance of showing you're working, because putting down on an exam script that you've got the correct answer, that you've got the correct way of working, even if you have the wrong answer, you could still get the lion's share of the marks. So don't poo-poo it when the teacher is saying, show you're working. I know it's extra work now, but you'll be thankful you did in the exam if you succumb to exam nerves and come up with the wrong number, but have got the process down pat and that you've shown that. Now, obviously, being able to show the working on these tiny wee cells, you really couldn't do it. So, I mean, in the end, at Temple, in a mainstream school, you wouldn't have these sheets. You would have an exercise, a maths book with graphing pages on, all wee squares. Temple Bank, it wasn't really something that could be done that well, considering a lot of us were visually impaired, so we got bigger sheets. I think the maths teacher did actually make up some large graph paper using the computer, actually. He was quite practical like that, actually, was the maths teacher. Yeah. So if you're showing working, you're obviously going to be doing a lot of formulas. Now, doing these formulas, the teacher said, you can't do this on computer, Jason. You just can't. You can't do this on computer. I'm sorry. No, you're not using computer. Everyone's writing it by hand or umbrella. Brailled. So, couldn't do it on the computer, could I not? Well, let me settle a teenaged argument. It's been going on for a teen number of years, not the fact that it's happened when I was well, that too as well. So, for those of you who didn't know, Microsoft Word has a sneaky wee thing called Microsoft Equation. If you go to Insert Object and go to Microsoft Equation, look, we have a whole bunch of different mathematical operators, symbols, how to lay stuff out. You've got different, you've even got different matrices. And you've got all the Greek symbols, so, you've got things like your theta, omega, and, goodness knows what else. All kinds of different mathematical symbols. Plus the world's funniest looking lambda. Is that even a lambda? I don't know. But yeah. So, you even had your traditional operators as well, including the actual multiplication symbol and divided by. And if you actually typed letters, they would be italicized. So if I wanted to do algebraic multiplication equations, then there you go. And if you want to do fractions, not a problem. You can do it this way, or you can do it this way. Although I think 3/3, that'll just be one whole. Although I think the over the line thing is actually more for the working out of the equation itself. So then again, maybe not. So you've got all these things. Then you've got your division. So or you've got your whoops your division. So yeah. Now, it wasn't until I was actually at university that I discovered this. And that was because I did a mathematics module at university, and it was actually the computer science department that actually showed me this. So, and this was when I was fresh out of school. I mean, I'd not done maths in a couple of years, but you know, I was learning vectors and matrices and doing logic as well. So I did need to use a lot of scientific and mathematical symbols. And while Microsoft Equation Editor did actually live up to expectations, I was actually able to get a hold of the full program that I believe that was based upon. And that I would like to show you now. And to show you MathType, well, we've ventured into the land of Windows XP. So, great big cheer went up. Anyway, so MathType can actually be started on its own. And as you can see, a lot more fully featured. And you've got different shortcut buttons. I mean, okay, this program is about, you know, going to say 15 years newer than what we've just seen. But if I go into Microsoft Word XP and show you the equation editor, you'll see that it's actually not much different from the version of equation editor that came with Microsoft Word 6. In fact, we're only on equation editor. Right, okay. Maybe it wants me to do it in MathType after all. Apparently, apparently that's what it does. If you have MathType installed, will you sod off? If you have MathType installed. So, yeah. So, completely bypass equation editor and use MathType instead, because why the hell not? And why the hell not indeed? So, again, it's the same fare. So, because I was only doing quite basic maths, I didn't really need much else. You know, it has all the same features. And look at that. Except, I've got now smaller fractions. So, if I wanted to put like, 2.5 of something, 2, 1, 2. There we go, 2.5. Now, a lot of these things, I have kind of forgotten a lot of these things, but I did use some of them. I mean, I do remember very distinctly in vectors doing this, and then putting the wee symbol on top of the A. So I think like. No, not like that. Like that. No! or even something like that. Well, I remember that anyway. Like I said, I mean, it's bloody memory. I swear down. It looks like I was never taught my maths or never listened, which I did. I did try to. Unless I did actually use the this feature, an input where we dot over it or something. I really can't remember. But yeah, I did do it, and MathType was especially useful for matrix operations. So there you go. You had your matrix, which would equal a number maybe, and you know, if you wanted to multiply matrices, although MathType symbol palette contains the most. Files present on your system contain many more. Use the insert symbol command on the edit menu to explore your fonts and search for symbols. This note will not be shown again unless you reset all the notes. Yeah. So if I was multiplying two matrices that were if I was multiplying two matrices that had the same dimensions, it's quite easy. You just multiply the numbers, like that plus that, that plus that. I mean, that multiplied by that multiplied by that, and so on and so forth. And then you'd come out with the answer matrix in the wrong type of brackets. So we encapsulate the correct type of brackets into the incorrect type of brackets. Oh, look at me. I'm a regular Albert Einstein cat. It's mouse that he dragged in off of the street. So, there you go. That I think reasonably puts paid to the fact that actually you can do maths on a computer. MathType, when it was out, was quite inexpensive, actually, considering what it allowed you to do. Well, for me at least, it seemed quite inexpensive. It's like now I've got a way to actually do maths on you know, using a computer in a very simple way. And this does actually bring back memories of university. You know, doing a lot of this. So, there you go. I'm going to delete that, because I don't need that anymore. So, that is Microsoft Equation Editor, version 2.0, and MathType. So, I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you have, please join me next week for the final episode of Academic August 2019. Thank you for watching. Cheery bye.